Hello, welcome into this mystery reading. I'm Molly, the QuantumLeapQueen. Thanks for joining me on this reading. These readings are a timeless resource for you to come utilize whenever you need some extra nourishment in your life. So trust that if you found this reading today, there is a message here for you. I'm setting the intention, as always, to give you the best messages that you need to hear today. And I am starting with the tarot. I'm starting with the Pulp Tarot. So, what are we looking at today, my friend? I have the Nine of Cups. I have the King of Pentacles. Ooh. Is that the Fool? Yep. Ooh, nice. Okay. Right off the bat, what I'm getting, I don't know, you have this this is a multifaceted energy, but it's a little bit like you've let go of so much, and you've gotten to this point of just prioritizing yourself in a way that's so healthy. Of course, I mean, maybe there's still some habits or something you wish were out the door, but what I can see is you've really started to prioritize yourself in your life, and I don't think that's always been the case. I think in the past you were looking outside of you for validation of yourself. Maybe you're still learning about yourself. But I see it now as, you're becoming so attractive and magnetic with your energy because the focus is back on you. It's not because life can feel it. People can feel it if you're trying to compensate for something or trying to get that validation outside of you. And I just see you've done a lot of work now to let go of that and come back to your messy and perfect yet divine self. All of it. It's kind of like a radical acceptance of you, and then I feel like perhaps you're experiencing less self-judgment, less heaviness, and it's kind of like this lightness now with you. And that's very attractive to people around you. And if you're not in a relationship, I could see someone coming in that's very attracted to you. That's that King of Pentacles energy, and perhaps wants to give just from a place of wholeness. They see you as a prize, and also someone that doesn't need someone else. And that's attractive because it's not then, you're not setting up a relationship with their foundations are codependent. This is someone that's more secure. Both parties here are more secure. And there's this lightness with the Fool energy, just letting it flow, letting it unfold. So that's what I'm seeing off the bat. What else? I have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, what else? What else with that? The Page of Cups. The Ace of Wands. Yeah, I'm getting this. For some reason, I'm getting a relationship thing. A spark. But I don't see it as something nervous, to be nervous about. It's more like a recognition. There's not anxiety here, or butterflies even. There's there's just a recognition, an amplification of acknowledgement. Hey, I think I know you or seen you before or something. With the Page of the Knight of Pentacles, and then the Page of Cups, I don't know, I see it as almost you're living your best life, doing your thing, and then someone comes in and they're all right, I can't deny, I need to pursue. And they do. And perhaps that's where things are leading. Someone that is coming from a grounded place and wants to give. And I think that's it's like your energy right now, it's like you don't need it. I think maybe you've fantasized about it, or it's part of your desires or something. Uh, but you're so content with your life, and that's where I feel it's interesting because you're so vibrant with the work that you've done, and like how you're so sovereign and self-contained, self-sufficient. But it's not like you don't want someone in your life in a romantic sense. And I think that's where this person comes in, is like they themselves also have done a lot of work on themselves, and they themselves are solid and secure and also know what they're looking for, just like you. And so when your paths cross, it's like it's undeniable, this chemistry, this desire. And I just see it just kind of like how these two people are facing. It's kind of like they might pursue you a little bit, or, you know, maybe you are the pursuer and you finally find the one that you're like, okay, that's where I want to invest now. That's what I'm seeing. What else? What else can I tell my friend? I have the Eight of Wands. I have the Magician. Nice. Anything else? Okay, I'm going to look at these two first. This is confirmation to just keep doing your thing and trusting in your own magic and trusting in the divine timing, because you are, again, so magnetic right now with the work that you've done and just the energy of who you are. And I feel like perhaps these days you're flowing super hard with your intuition, and there's this level of detachment here because you're just kind of like leaving it up to the universe to bring in the magic. You're flowing with the river instead of trying to like force things. You're flowing with the currents right now, and that's beautiful. And I think you're, you know, doing the practical things where you can, but also you're just like so surrendering everything up to God, up to the infinite. So that's a sign, your confirmation to just keep doing that because it's working. I have the Queen of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. Okay, because of your past, it's really built foundations for you to know your worth and to really commit to yourself on a new way, in a new way, on a new level. And it has so much to do with the honoring of your heart, because you recognize like how special your heart is, that not everyone has the same capacity to go as deep or to love as deep. And that is it's something you're keeping precious now. Like maybe before you saw it as a weakness, and it's a gift and a curse at the same time, right? But I think now you are like honoring it in a whole new way. And I see that as well with the Four of Wands. That's like, the Four of Wands is like commitment to self. And I love how it's depicted on this card, because it's like all these ladies, and I just feel like it's depicting like all these versions of you. You know, you're so multidimensional, so multifaceted. You're not just one thing, you're like all these things. And it's a commitment to all of you, all of your darkness, all of your ugliness, all your messiness, and then all of your light, all your divinity, all your divineness. Yeah, divinity and just, yeah, everything. Your God self, like being part of it all. And that your humanness is very much a part of that. So yeah, I just think you've come to terms with like who you are and all the faces that you hold within you, because you've gotten to know them. So many people are afraid to explore their depths, but I think like with the Five of Pentacles, this card is always, it reminds me of like being left out in the cold. And in this card, it's with a lady with her baby, so it's like an extremely vulnerable position. That's where you were. It was like life in the physical plane wasn't working out, and you kind of got left out in the cold in some situation. And because of those foundations that got broken, you learned so much about yourself going through that dark period. So that's what I see. Let's move on. Let's pull from some oracle messages now. I'm going to start with the animal oracle. So. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have almost there. Number 44 with this fox. Let's read about it. "44, almost there, fox. In the blossoming spring season, little fox frolicked and skipped in the wild woods. As he played, his attention was constantly drawn to a distant light. The light glimmered deep in the forest past the rumbling river. Although he couldn't quite make out what the light was, every bone in his body knew that it was meant for him, and his soul would spark with joy when he saw it. It was as if the light were a magnet calling out to him. But whenever little fox ventured towards the light, he was always abruptly stopped by the roaring river before him. Little fox would fall into despair, for he could not unite with the light that called him. Time went on, and spring became summer. Little fox would continue to watch glimpses of the light, still filled with excitement and longing to unite with his beloved light. He would regularly attempt to reach it, only to again be blocked by the roaring river. More time passed as autumn approached. Little fox grew and learned many lessons, yet he was still faced with an unquenchable thirst for light. Little fox became distraught and angry towards life. He often cried out in sharp howls, forsaking life for presenting him the beauty of the light without allowing him to embrace it. He grew mistrustful that life did not have his best interest in mind, and increasingly became hardened and jaded. Autumn transformed into winter. By this point, little fox was big fox. But his heart was broken, for the only thing he ever longed deeply for was out of his reach. But Big Fox gave up. During the early winter months, Big Fox did what he had to do to survive, but he had a hole in his heart. He walked with his head low, and for he could not bear to look up and see the out of reach light. One night, as Big Fox lay asleep, snow began to fall. When Big Fox awoke, he was taken aback at this new element he had never experienced. As he started his day, he saw a gaggle of geese standing on the river in the distance, completely perplexed at how they were now standing on water. He approached the river with caution. He had learned through all his seasons of life that he must be careful and cautious. As he put his paw on the water, he found it to be hard and sturdy. He gasped and thought, Could this be the path to my light? Big Fox carefully crossed the hard water with deep awareness. He listened for cracks and creaks in the hard water and scanned the sky for hawk approaching. As he crossed the river with extreme care, it dawned on him that if he were Little Fox, he would have run boldly across the hard water without a care in the world and could have been hurt or even killed. A shower of emphasis began to rain on him. He realized that he had to go through all the seasons and learn all the lessons to be prepared to walk towards the light destined for him. As Big Fox finally crossed the great river, he thanked Mother Earth and Father Sky and understood that he could wait to gain the wisdom that prepared him for the crossing of the great river. If there is something you yearn for in your heart and have been trying to achieve with little to no success, this is a profound confirmation that it is approaching. Be patient. There is wisdom in the waiting. There is preparation time. You are gaining what you need to unite fully with what your heart desires. Endure, endure, endure. Okay. Nice story. And I really feel that that's 100 million% correct. It's a good reminder. I know for myself, like I moved to Mexico like 3 years ago. I'm here half the year and I'm back home in Minnesota half the year. And I think about this constantly, but I'm like, man, I'm so glad that I took that leap of faith in my later 20s versus like my earlier 20s, because it would definitely would have been not the same experience. Now that I have more wisdom under my belt, I actually feel grounded here, and I actually feel that that I can have respectful relationships with people here. And I think, yeah, it's also the same thing with with relationships and even like breakups and stuff. Like, I'm really grateful I went through my breakup, even though at the time it was like the toughest, like the hardest thing ever. I'm so grateful I went through it, because I know that it's opening me up to receive like the kind of love that I really deserve and that I'm really destined for. And all of that goes for you as well. Like, sometimes it just takes time, and we need to get that wisdom and that maturity under our belt before things actually manifest and we actually get the things that we're desiring. We can feel the pull and the call for it. Sometimes it just takes a little time, and just to be patient for it. So that's that animal message. I'm gonna pull next from this Mystic Mondays Astro deck. Get some astrology messages. What does the sky want to tell us? Oh, that was a lot. Ooh. Keep giving me a lot of them. Give me like one or two. Thank you. Got two here. Second house. Planetary return. Ooh. Nice. Okay. These are the two cards. Interesting. Okay, so planetary return, and I mean, this planet looks like it's Saturn, right? But it's like, in the chart, planets make their way around. Like, the Saturn return is about 30 years of age, and then same thing about 60, and then about 90, because it takes 30 years for for Saturn and specifically to transit. And I like that it's in the second house, because the second house finances, value, possessions. So very much looking at your own value system, your own self-worth, ruled by Taurus, and also Venus. So very much like, it's like a review or like a check-in point. And also, I think with the planetary returns, there's an up-leveling process. There's a maturity process happening. So I feel like this is you upgrading your value systems about yourself, about how you operate in life. And I mean, it definitely could be financial stuff too. But I feel like this is talking about you and your own heart and soul, and your own morality. I see it as getting an up-leveling, an upgrade, as you're transitioning into this time now of knowing yourself better, clearer, because of the maturity you've had. But I see this as an active process. I don't think that this is done yet. Like, this is actively going on for you. So be very patient with yourself, and know that you're getting this upgrade, and that it's just going to take some time. Okay, next I'm going to pull from the Rainbow Brain Skull deck. Best message from this deck. It says, yeah, I guess I do stuff, but I don't feel like an actual thing yet. And that's definitely your becoming process right now. Let's see. Let's read about it. If you felt fully formed, wouldn't the game be over? Many of the greats struggle with imposter syndrome, while amateurs are brimming with confidence. Take it as a good sign that you don't feel like an actual thing yet. It probably means you are one. Ooh, I love that. Ooh, I'm getting chills from that. That's where I think you're at. It's like, you've done the work and you're wanting rewards, but it's not quite time yet because you're still in the process of becoming. That's how I feel like it is. And that's such a good reminder of the great struggle with imposter syndrome. And, imposters are brimming with confidence sometimes. So if you feel like you're not where you want to be, take that as a good sign, because it means that you care deeply about yourself, about life, and then because of the caring, the heart that you have for your existence, then that's what gives it fuel. That's what gives it the energy it needs to come into existence. Obviously, the people that are brimming with confidence, arrogance, you could say, that burns out quick. That doesn't last. But what you're building lasts, and that's why it's a struggle. I'm picturing in my mind right now, it's like a seed under the soil, and it's like just sprouting, and it doesn't have any light. It's just complete darkness. So all it can do is just trust and grow the root system and hope to one day surface. And that's where I feel you are, is you're nearly there. And that was the card too, almost there. You've done a lot of the work already, but you're not quite there. And that's all right. It's just confirmation for where you are and a reminder that there's no need to stress because everything is good. You're just still in that root building process, or getting the nutrients from the soil then to sprout into something new. That's how I see it. Okay, so lastly, my friend, I'm going to pull from the I Create My Reality deck. Best message for my friend from this deck. Well, thank you. I am surrounded by golden lights. I give myself permission to shine. I love myself and forgive myself. You benefit immensely when you choose to forgive, and so does everyone around you. Forgiveness allows you to break free from limiting beliefs and attitudes. If you made a mistake, retain what you learned from the event, but release all the negative emotions. Set yourself free from the past and fulfill your true potential. And that could be exactly where you are right now, is gathering the information to really let go of the past and to really forgive. And forgiveness, from my experience, is not something that you can fake, and it's not something you can rush. I think it's just a natural process of time, and then through that time, you're learning more things, you're shedding more layers, and so you literally metamorphosize and become more of who you are, and then the past is something you just become grateful for, and there isn't that hurt and pain that there was. You're able to see it from a higher lens and a higher perspective and be like, wow, that really was the catalyst for me becoming my true self. Had that not happened, I wouldn't have had the pressure to become my true self. So yeah, I think that's what you're still processing, is the past and forgiveness and all of that. But again, that's not something you rush. It's not something you force. You can think about okay, I forgive them. I forgive this situation or this past person. And maybe on a level you do, but I think the body will truly receive the forgiveness in due time, in divine timing. I don't think it's something you can force at all. So remind yourself that you are perfect right where you are, and that you are this little like seed of light right now. Like you're just processing all of the magic that you are. Take your time in this phase, in this chapter. There's nothing to rush, and just be very gentle and loving with yourself. I think that's going to be the best course of action for you. So that concludes your reading. Thanks for coming. Come on back whenever you need more nourishment. And my channel is just a library of these timeless mystery readings. I have my link down below to work with me, as well as all the decks listed in the description. So until next time, guys, we'll see you then. Bye.